Hi Mark, thanks for your answer. I haven't really got much to add except to say that I'm also enjoying having this conversation. On to your question, which was, if you were to make your dream humanist community like Christians have their church, what would that community look like? I'm glad you added like a church, because actually I wouldn't want some kind of far-reaching one-creed humanist community like we see hippie communes or secluded politically extreme groups. I'm wary of any society which claims to have only one mindset, because you have to ask, what do they do with the dissenters? In pre-Enlightenment Christianity and some modern Islamic societies, the solution is bloody and simple. You execute them for apostasy. Groups like the Jehovah's Witnesses use the threat of permanent ostracization from friends and families to curb dissent. If I saw any humanist group heading down this road, an unlikely scenario given our love of debate and variety, I would be very worried. But a community more like a church I could get behind, and it ties into a question myself and other secular humanists have been asking recently. What next? The UK is becoming an increasingly non-religious nation, and I worry that we're going to lose the community that a church can bring. I even know some non-believers who nonetheless go to church because they like the community. The internet may make us more interconnected, but I've learned that there really is no substitute for a good group meetup. Christians have an almost guaranteed meetup place where they can talk with people of similar minds on a regular basis. Humanists aren't guaranteed this. For instance, I'm part of a local humanist group and yet we only meet once or twice a month, and the group only started this year. Before then, any humanist would have to travel to another town to meet up. So we have a problem with community. But what would I like this community to look like? Well, I see a humanist community as a place where ideas can be exchanged. There would be no sermons, only talks from experts or activists. And there would be a chance for questions, discussion and debate about any topic to keep the flame of our intellect alive. I get worried when one person starts to be the only person to talk to a group, and when their apparent wisdom can't be challenged. Having multiple speakers and the chance for dialogue is not only intellectually stimulating, but a very good check against groupthink and abuse by leaders. We would cover topics of morality, ethics, secularism, meaning and any other issue, theoretical or practical, that may affect human beings. One thing I like about my current humanist meetings is how practical they are. They deal with real-world issues and tell us what solutions they are attempting to get through. But I think there's also a time to discuss less grounded stuff, like philosophy and the parts of science which aren't always that useful but are definitely cool. We would also be very involved in activism, both on a local, national and global scale. There's a joke among atheists that actions speak louder than prayer. But then I see many atheists who forget that to make that joke you really need to be doing actions. Sitting around on your arse and praying may have the same result in the world, but at least the prayer shows some effort. This would also be a good way to break the religious stranglehold on some parts of charity, where they use the misfortune of others to push a religious message. If you watch my YouTube channel, you know I've spoken about Uganda before, where Christian groups have provided charity whilst also preaching homophobia, and it's had a devastating effect on Uganda's LGBT community. Humanist activism can break that cycle. There's always a question of what to do with kids when mum and dads are either worshipping or debating. In churches they engage in fun yet still religious activities, a program I find unacceptable. I saw a local church recently making crusader shields as if they were planning on igniting some kind of cardboard crusade. So for kids in a humanist group, I think it would be important to engage them intellectually, let them have fun, but really keep them away from anything touching religion. We as a group would have no right to either influence them towards or away from religion, and we'd have to be very careful not to do so. So that's a rough outline of my ideal humanist community: regular, engaging and active. Now for your next question, I've noticed you talk a lot about evidence. That your religion is based on evidence is something I respect, but I'd like to know what you think are the three most convincing pieces of evidence for God. I look forward to your answer and I'll see you later.